Shalom, everyone. Welcome back. This week's Torah portion, the portion of Tetzaveh, talks a great deal about the Kohanim, the priests who were the officiants in the Mishkan, the temple, the portable temple that the Jewish people carried around with them throughout their 40 years in the desert. And who were these priests exactly, or Kohanim in Hebrew? Well, they were first of all from the tribe of Levi, and within the tribe of Levi, the majority of them were Leviim. The Levites were the assistants to the priests, and the Levites' job was to help them and to sing praises. They were members of an orchestra. They had a tremendous orchestra, and they played musical instruments. But the Kohanim were the direct descendants of Moses' older brother Aaron and his family, just Aaron's family. They were chosen to be the Kohanim. Originally, God chose the firstborn of Israel to be the Kohanim, but since they they sinned with the sin of the golden calf, he withdrew that offer and instead made the Kohanim, the children of Aaron, to be the Kohanim in the temple from then on to the present day. And we still have Kohanim today. People know they're a Kohen. If your father's a Kohen, you're a Kohen. And so it goes from the father, and it's been traveled on since the beginning of the Jewish people in the desert. The Kohanim are, in fact, the Kohanim have certain restrictions and certain privileges. For example, in terms of restrictions, they're not allowed to have contact with the dead unless it's a very close relative. They can't go to cemeteries. Kohanim, some say they can't drink wine, or they can't drink wine at certain times because they could be called upon at any time to officiate in the temple. They're supposed to have their hair cut regularly because it's not proper to be in the temple with an unkept hair. They cannot marry a divorcee or a convert. So these are restrictions. And in addition to that, there are many privileges, many things that Kohanim can do that the rest of us cannot do, such as officiate in the temple. When the Torah is read, they are given the first honor. Whenever there's any honor, we generally give a Kohen the first honor of all. In Simchas Torah, it's customary to pass the Torahs around first to the Kohanim, then the Levium, and then everyone else. So it's very special to be a Kohen. There aren't too many of them. It's rare, but nevertheless, it's a very great privilege to be a Kohen. What is the whole idea of Kahuna all about? So the Jewish people are called Mamlechas Kohanim v'Goy Kadosh, a nation of priests and a holy nation. We are all called Kohanim. We are Kohanim to the world. Just like the Kohanim are the Kohanim to the Jewish people are Kohanim to the rest of the world. That means that more is expected of us in terms of our behavior. There are many more mitzvahs we have. We have 613 mitzvahs compared to only 7 for the non-Jewish nations. So the so-called Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, the 7 laws of Noach. Jewish people are required to observe many, many more mitzvahs than the rest of the people. So there's much more of a greater responsibility that we have as well compared to the non-Jewish nations. But at the same time, Jewish people have very great responsibilities. We have to make sure that we abide by higher standards and greater responsibilities. Certainly, there are restrictions as well. We have to only keep kosher. We have to keep Shabbos. We have the holidays we need to observe. There are many restrictions being a Jew, obviously, 365 of them, as a matter of fact, 365 negative prohibitions, 248 positive obligations as well, altogether 613. So the Jewish people, being a nation of priests, have many restrictions, as Kohanim have, but we also have many privileges and responsibilities, as the Kohanim had as well. We are born with it, just as Kohanim. You can't become a Kohen. You need to be born a Kohen. Similarly, Jewish people are born to be Jewish people. You are allowed to convert and become a Jew. In that regard, it's different. But nevertheless, once you're a Jew, you're always a Jew, and you can never leave it. So in that regard, also the special privileges of being a Kohen are part of the Jewish people, and that is who we are. That's the uniqueness of the Jewish people, that we are different from all the other nations. God chose us from all the other nations and picked us to be his Mamlechus Kohanim, his nation of priests. It's a very great privilege and a very great honor to be chosen by God to be Kohanim and similarly to be Jews. So I want to wish you all a good Shabbos. Candle lighting in San Diego is at 5:13 p.m. And I want to wish you a good Shabbos. Shalom.